Welcome to Forex Daybreak, a daily podcast where we cover 8 Forex pairs and give you our view on the market direction for these pairs. If you are trading Forex market, this is the #1 show to start your trading day. Now, let's begin today's episode.
Good morning everybody and welcome to Forex Daybreak episode number 9. In this daily Forex update I will give you my view on 8 Forex pairs I analyzed using Elliott wave principle. My name is Ville Vainio and today is 19th of August 2015. Show notes for this episode can be found at forexpodcast.co. Now let's get started. Okay, today we have a couple of big news events from United States, the CPI and FOMC, and these will definitely move the markets on a short term. And we can go straight to the first pair, which is EURUSD. A decline yesterday with EURUSD and possibly the end of the corrective B wave. We went slightly below the 50% Fibonacci retracement and the low is now between the 50% and the 61.8% Fibonacci retracement levels. The price is now 110.38 and slight upwards move has been the latest development. I have labeled the correction as ended on the low. Key levels on EURUSD are that the Fibonacci retracement at 61.8% is 109.88. This is the support level on the downside, and the next upside resistance is 111.28, the minute wave D peak from a couple of weeks ago. This can be traded now to the upside in my opinion. I'm expecting more euro strength and upside price action on EURUSD. There is those big news events today, so the volatility can pick up. These news events probably are weak to the dollar, so I'm expecting more euro strength and more upside on EURUSD, and I would look for a trade to the upside since the correction seems to be over. So this is one good opportunity to trade. Okay, let's move on to dollar yen. The triangle on dollar yen has completed and I am looking for more downside pressure on this pair. Also, if the FOMC statement today is negative on the dollar, this should decline also based on that. The 123 level is still the target for this decline. I yesterday went short on this pair, so I'm looking for more downside. I'm little on the profit right now, nothing major. I have stop loss just above the triangle and target is 123. So let's see how that goes. Key levels on dollar yen are that support level is 123.78 on the downside and upside resistance is the previous first wave peak at 124.467. So more downside I am looking for on dollar yen, a decline towards the 123 area and perhaps even lower than that. But let's see first if this sideways price action has indeed ended and we are going to see a starting 5-way structure to the downside. Next is pound dollar, and yesterday pound dollar tested again the upper resistance area. This area, the strong resistance area, is around 156.9, the upper resistance line. Key levels on pound dollar are more or less the same than yesterday, so that 156.89, 156.9 level is the upside resistance. We are still below that. And the downside we can say the whole structure possibly acting as a more or less support area. 159.6 would be one yesterday's low. Perhaps we see more upside on this pair today if the FOMC statement is negative on the dollar. Next we have Euro Pound, a decline yesterday, and the wave structure is still very hard to figure out. We are more or less on a sideways price action, and this is all I can say for sure, that this is a corrective structure, but the wave divisions are hard to figure out at this point. There's much overlap and hard to say what the structure is right now. Key levels on Euro Pound: support on the downside 70.25, so 0.7025. The recent low will act as support possibly, and next resistance is that 0.706. That has been quite strong support and resistance area recently. I wouldn't trade Euro Pound at this point since there is no clear indication on the trend direction. We need to first have something solid before we can trade this pair. Next is Euro Yen. Quite a decline for the past few days on Euro Yen. The decline has contained just on the level where the previous first wave is. There's maybe a few pip slight overlap, but this is allowed to keep the wave count still viable. If we get a decline below that first wave high, which is at 137.1, so if we get a decline below that level, then this wave count is incorrect. Key levels on Euro Yen: 137.785 is now acting as resistance level, and 137.1, the mentioned first wave peak, will be the support area, the support to watch for. If we get a decline below 137.1, there is possibly more downside to come. But if we don't get any lower than that, there should be a wave higher next. Okay, Pound Yen is next, and since Pound Yen has broken the upper trend line of the triangle multiple times, I have ditched the triangle scenario. This is still possibility since the upper trend line is still contained below 195.2 about. We are now at 194.83. So if the triangle scenario is still viable, we should get a decline next to finish this leg we are right now on. Key levels on Pound Yen: the upside resistance, like I mentioned, 195.2, and downside 194.565 is the immediate support zone. We are right around that level as we speak. I wouldn't trade this yet because it's very hard to say at this point on Pound Yen if this is completed correction or we should still get more downside. I am more on the favor that this correction is still in force and we should get more downside on the future. Next is Euro Canadian. Also a decline yesterday and making this structure even more hard to figure out. There's so much overlap on the past waves that the only thing that is sure that this is a correction. And I'm thinking we are still on minute wave B position since this is so sideways. The price now is 144 flat almost. We have declined below the resistance level, which were at 144.9. This is now acting as a resistance level. Before I mentioned it would be a support level. Now, since the strong decline yesterday, we pushed through that below. Now it will act as resistance. Support level 143.14 is the next on the downside. And really hard to say if we get more downside here or should we turn up. If there's correlation on other euro pairs, I would say this will go higher today. But really hard to say on this structure, which is the correct analysis on here. And finally, let's move to US dollar Canadian. We have declined slightly, possibly started the final phase of this correction, the fourth wave correction. If the last part of the minor wave 4 correction has started on Euro Canadian, we should get a decline towards the previous fourth wave area at 128.5 approximately. Key levels on US dollar Canadian are that the next downside support area remains 1.295. This has held for now. And on the upside 131 is the minor resistance, the previous wave 3 peak. Those are the levels to watch for in US dollar Canadian. That's all for today's episode. Visit the show notes at forexpodcast.co. This is the site that is functioning this week until I get ForexDayBreak.com finished. Thanks for listening, and now go make some profits, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye bye.
Thanks for your interest in Forex Daybreak Daily Podcast. If you like this show, we hope you'll visit our website, www.forexdaybreak.com, and tell your friends about us. Be sure to check the show notes on our website for this episode. Join us next time for another episode of Forex Daybreak.